Hello to all of our newly admitted Tritons for fall 2023. On behalf of the International Students and Programs Office, also known as ISPO, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We are excited to welcome you to UC San Diego. My name is Kathleen McLaren, and I'm an intake advisor here at ISPO. I'm so excited to welcome you into our campus community. I understand firsthand that starting a new chapter of your life in a different country can be both exhilarating and intimidating. Here at ISPO, we are here to help. Even if we don't know the answer, we will do our best to connect you with someone who does. If you see me at a future international orientation event, please come and introduce yourself. You can ask me about my work abroad program. You can ask me about my work abroad program or my work experience with Semester at Sea, where I traveled to 10 different countries over 3.5 months. All right, a few housekeeping items before we begin. First, you are on listen only mode. You can hear us, but we can't hear you. Next, we are recording. This webinar will be posted at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. Lastly, please use the Q&A box to get your questions answered. Even if we aren't able to answer them today through chat or during our Q&A at the end of our session, there are a variety of ways to connect with ISPO and get those questions answered. Visit icontact.ucsd.edu to connect with us after today's session. Now let's begin. We are happy to welcome you to our session, International Sponsored Student Orientation. With us today, we have Gabriella Hoffman, Felicia Young from ISPO, and Leah Dedman and Casper Nelson from Student Financial Solutions. And with that, I'll hand it over to Felicia Young. And here we go.
Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Felicia Young, and I do work in our ISPO office. I am a student advisor as well as the Sponsored Student and Special Programs Coordinator. So I am here to help you with anything that you may need help with during your time here at UC San Diego. I'm gonna get my volume up. And so I'm going to turn it over to our Assistant Director, Gabi Hoffman.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Felicia. It's wonderful to have you all here today. My name is Gabi Hoffman. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Experience and Engagement here at the International Students and Programs Office. A little bit about me. I have been with ISPO for, about 11 years now. I have spent significant time studying abroad, working abroad, and I love working with our international community. I am actually the daughter of an international student who came to the United States many, many years ago, so I know the experience quite well. And again, just love engaging with our students, helping you feel settled and comfortable here, and knowing that you have a community and a home away from home here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and have my colleague Leah do her introductions.
Hello, my name is Leah Dedman. I am the Senior Operations Analyst over at Student Financial Solutions. We work hand in hand with ISPO the entire year, actually. And we primarily work in the third-party billing office in Student Financial Solutions, or SFS for short. And we work primarily in the invoicing and billing if you have a sponsor who sponsors your tuition or part of your tuition and pays for your education in some matter. So we work, very closely with ISPO, and we collaborate quite often. I'm going to pass it over to Casper.
Hello, everyone. My name is Casper. I am a student account advisor here in SFS. Mostly I'm centered on student accounts generally when it comes to billing and payment inquiries. Recently, I've also been helping Leah with third-party billing. So if you have any questions in regards to either of those and you submit a ticket, call or email our office, SFS, you might be connected with me, and I'm more than happy to help you out.
Thank you to our colleagues for joining us here today. I just want to give a little bit of introduction about the International Students and Programs Office. Some of you might have already attended other orientation sessions so far this week, but for those of you who have not and are not aware, this is just to give you an overview of who we are and how we are here to support you. So here at ISPO, we have 20 friendly advisors, administrative staff, and student assistants who are ready to help you during your time here at UC San Diego. ISPO can advise you on understanding your immigration status, rules for working on and off campus, traveling, and on how to adjust to your classes and campus life. Another form of advising that we offer, otherwise known as programming or hosting engaging events or programs, is something that we really focus on and provide to all of our students, again, to build that community, get engaged, get connected, and really make the most of your experience and make the most of all the available tools and resources for success while you're studying here at UC San Diego. So there are different ways to contact us. And as a sponsored student, we'll go over this as well. There are sometimes multiple points of contact for you as a sponsored student. We try to make this as seamless as possible for you. To contact the International Students and Programs Office in particular, there are multiple ways to get in touch with us. So you can submit a ticket through our contact form. You can visit us in person. We have daily in-person front desk open hours, Monday through Friday. You can seek an in-person appointment. And particularly as a sponsored student, if you have sponsored specific related questions or concerns, Felicia is your point of contact. So we will be able to connect you with her directly for that, and she can help connect you to where you need to be. You can drop in virtually through Zoom advising if you're not nearby, and you can even contact us outside of normal business hours for travel emergencies. So these are the various different ways. If you go to icontact.ucsd.edu, you'll see all the different options for getting in touch with us. All right, and now to go through a little bit of the iPORTAL document request system. This should be familiar to those of you who received visa documents from UC San Diego. I am aware that some of you might not be sponsored by UC San Diego. Specifically, our Fulbright students, for example, had their documents issued by Fulbright. We will certainly address you and how to sort of make those requests. But for those of you who received your visa documents from us, you did that through the iPortal. And this is our document request system where you will submit various different requests throughout the year as needed. Any online request, such as support letters, work authorization, any I-20 or DS 2019 updates, and so forth. You can check the status of your requests at any time by logging into your iPortal account. We do recommend that you bookmark this website as you'll be frequenting it throughout your program here. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague Felicia to go over sponsored students in more depth.
Thank you, Gabi. So who is considered a sponsored student? All of you were invited to this orientation so we could review this information with you. A sponsored student is a student whose tuition and fees are paid directly to UC San Diego by your sponsor. So sponsoring entities could be a government, a corporation, an embassy, sometimes an employer. So this is also why we have our colleagues at Student Financial Services here with us so they can talk more about the billing piece. So we know that our sponsored students really contribute to the diversity of the UC San Diego campus. We really appreciate the sharing of cultures and understanding of, students from all over the world and how much you bring to our campus. So we really appreciate, your presence on our campus and not just what you will learn at UC San Diego, but also what you will help us to better understand about, different cultures and your perspectives. All right, next slide. So this is just a sampling of some of our sponsoring organizations. We have, I believe the last time I checked, over 100 different sponsors for our students. So we just wanted to give you just a quick snapshot of some of them. So you may see your sponsor up on that site. But again, we have so many students from different countries, from all over the world, being sponsored by your, again, government or different employers to allow you to study here at UC San Diego. So who is your J1 program sponsor? So it is either going to be UC San Diego or it will be another organization like Fulbright. And in terms of, who your sponsor is, we understand it can be a little bit of a repetition of the word of sponsor because you are a sponsored student, but your actual program sponsor is going to be who issued your visa documents to you in order for you to be at UC San Diego studying. So for students who were able to use our iPortal, to request your either I-20 or your DS 2019, you are going to be sponsored by UC San Diego because UC San Diego is the one who issued you your documents in order for you to study here in the United States. For students who are non-UC San Diego sponsored, and these are really our Fulbright IIE students, your organization was the one that sponsored and issued you your DS 2019s again to study here at UC San Diego. This is important because whoever your sponsor is of your visa to study here is the organization that you're going to go to in order to request any visa-related documents while you're here studying at UC San Diego. Excuse me. So for students who are UC San Diego sponsored, you are going to utilize iPortal to request things like an updated travel signature, work authorization. If you have updates to your I-20 or your DS 2019 that you need to make, you would then submit those requests to the iPortal system. For any of our non-UCSD sponsored students, so again, these are going to be our Fulbright IIE students, you are going to be reaching out to your Fulbright or your IIE advisor directly in order to request things like travel signatures, again, work authorizations, or to update any part of your DS 2019. All right, next slide. So we just wanted to show you what this is going to look like on your DS 2019 or on your I-20. So again, this is an example of a DS 2019, but you can see that the program sponsor shows UC San Diego. And so again, this is an indication that we are the entity in the US that is holding your visa and allowing you to study here in the United States. And then again, these are students. If UC San Diego is your sponsor, you are going to utilize iPortal in order to request any updates to your documentation, travel signatures, work authorization. The processing times for the different requests are listed on ISPO's website, so you can also be aware of how many days it typically takes for us to be able to issue you and complete your request. All right. And so for any of our non-UC San Diego sponsored students, again, for our Fulbrights, you can see on your DS 2019, the program sponsor is the U.S. Department of State as a Fulbright student. So if your DS 2019, and I'm sure that you would know that you are sponsored by Fulbright, you are going to be contacting and reaching out to your Fulbright advisor or your IIE advisor with requests for things like an updated travel signature, if you'd like work authorization, if you're requesting a social security number because you're working on campus or off campus, again, you would need to reach out to your Fulbright advisor. You would not be able to go into iPortal in order to request these, again, because UC San Diego doesn't hold and sponsor your visa. So For these students, we do want you to keep processing times in mind. Sometimes it can take a number of weeks for Fulbright or IIA to be able to process and issue you any documents that you request. So we do just, remind you to plan ahead and to be in good communication with your Fulbright advisor. All right. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Leah, who's going to talk more about Student Financial Solutions piece and you being our sponsored student. Thanks, Leah.
Thank you. So yes, welcome. Let's go ahead and start talking about UC San Diego and the portion of your sponsor paying for your invoicing needs and your tuition and all that good stuff. So just to talk a little bit about Student Financial Solutions, which partners very often with ISPO. Some of the things we focus on is more of like the mission, the vision, and the values. So these are more of like the core values that our office focuses on. And it's really to, again, the mission is to support the financial needs of the students, parents, and the organizations, like through an integrated services approach. So you'll see a lot of, we focus on like snow cases. So we call them like snow as in service now. So we'll open a lot of tickets for everyone just to make sure that everyone has like a trackable case load. We have like the vision is to really enrich the student lives with programs and solutions that educate and empower and encourage that financial health. And then we value like the people first, purposeful interactions, and building pathways and progressive change. So we really want you guys to be aware, even though if you are being sponsored by, your home country or, your government, we want you to still be aware of your financial needs as well as like how to read your student bill to be aware of what your education costs. Student Financial Solutions we provide by coordinating third-party sponsorships for both undergraduate and graduate. So we do provide third-party billing to both undergraduate and graduates. We maintain student billing accounts for all of UCSD campus except for Rady. And we provide assistance with general billing and payments. On the other side of our office, we do issue Triton ID cards to all students, staff, and faculty. And we also do a lot of processing refunds of credits and overpayments. So we do deposits, e-checks, Flywire, Convera, international payments. So we process all of that within our office. So anything student accounts, where basically anyone can go to us. So the process of third-party sponsorships and how does it work? So the first thing is you have to submit a financial guarantee letter to our office as soon as it's available. That just is a letter that states that whether it be your government or your sponsoring entity, they'll sponsor you for a certain duration. So whether it be the whole academic year for that quarter, because I know, like, for example, SACM will do a quarterly basis versus some will do the entire fall, winter, spring, and summer. So just kind of the terms of your agreement as well as the amount. So whether it be you're fully sponsored for the amount or it's, capped at a certain like 40,000 or 50,000, anything like that. So that's kind of what the financial guarantee letter is. The second thing is that we will be sending out a DocuSign. So that is the direct billing authorization form. So it has to be filled out every year. So even if you come back next year or you come back for grad school, every year that has to be signed, even if you are sponsored for the entire duration of your school years. So that's the second thing that we have to have on file for everyone. And once that's all filled out, that's when we can actually start building our contracts for everyone in the system. And I know everyone panics because they see bills due on their account. And we try to tell everyone that it's very time consuming for when we try to get it on the accounts and fill it out. So we just, appreciate everyone's patience, that we will get it on the account before everything is due. So not to sweat. But once you get those two things in, everything is good to go. We'll get that all on your account. The third thing is that a lot of people need to be aware of is that health insurance is not always covered by their sponsor. So just to make sure that you are aware of the contract and what your sponsor is covering, what they're not, and make sure that you're waiving your insurance. So if you are covered by your sponsor's insurance, just make sure you're waiving your UC ship insurance every year. It only has to be waived once per year. So just go ahead and make sure you're on Triton Link and are waiving it by the deadline. The fourth thing is just to make sure that once tuition fees are assessed for the quarter, just that your credits are applied to your account and that third party contract is covering your fees. So I think this is the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to this stuff is that your sponsor doesn't have to pay immediately because we're very understanding in that when you make payments from international and abroad, it takes a long time. And so we credit the account up front immediately. And then on the back end, our office will go ahead and invoice at a later date. So as long as we have the first two things, the financial guarantee and the billing authorization on file, we can credit your account immediately so that you have nothing due. And then we can work on getting the payment from your sponsor later. So there is no need to rush about the billing due date. There's no stress. It's just literally just in the system that we have to waive and credit your account. So there's no need to invoice right away. It's at a later date. So the fifth thing to think about also and to remember about the sponsorship is that remember that any fees that are not covered by your sponsor has to be paid by you, the student, by that billing due date. So if the sponsor is only paying by for like tuition, the other things such as like bookstore fees or like printing fees, or sometimes like, the charges of not tuition, but the other charges of like activity fees, those will have to be paid by the student by the billing due date. So just to make sure you're always constantly checking your account. And then the last part of the sponsorship is that by the ad drop date, that's when we will actually invoice your sponsor. So we don't invoice sponsors until much later after the ad drop date. For this one, so the financial guarantee and support letter, where do we send it? So that's a great question. In terms of submitting a ticket, you can go online at our website, the third party billing office website. You can also email it directly. This will always open a ticket no matter what you do, which is trackable, which is wonderful. You can send it to the undergrad third party at UCSD. If you're a grad student, you can also send it to the grad third party at UCSD. It's the same office. It'll just open a different ticket. You can also drop it off in person at the Student Services Center at the third floor, or you can mail it. Snail mail still works, but I recommend either opening a ticket or emailing. So this is kind of what it looks like when you pop online on our office email or office website. You can go ahead and scroll on down, click one of those, and it'll submit a ticket for us. If you email it again, it'll still submit a ticket either way. So it's trackable. And then once you submit a ticket, it'll open up something like this. This is our form. And you just go ahead, it'll populate all of this for you. And all you have to do is really add a subject, which would be it would be helpful to put your name, your PID, perhaps the sponsor, like, if it's Fulbright or if you're being sponsored by SACM, anything like that. And then just describe that it's your financial guarantee for that quarter or for the year, and go ahead and upload the attachment.
All right, I'll take it for now. Thank you, Leah. So in regards to waiving UC ship, like Leah was saying, if your sponsor has a qualifying health insurance, then they won't be covering for the UC ship charge that's on your student account. UC ship is considered a mandatory fee, so it's posted every quarter to your account as long as you're enrolled. So if your sponsor isn't going to be covering for that fee and they have a qualifying health insurance plan, then you would want to waive this fee. And you can do so whenever you sign into the student portal My Triton link. And when you sign in, this is the screenshot of the general web page. And on the other services portion where that red arrow is, if you click on health fee waiver, it should direct you on My Triton link where you need to go in order to waive the health insurance. And if you have any questions about that process, you can email Student Health Services at ship3@ucsd.edu. There is waiver deadlines which you would need to meet for every academic year. So just make sure that you meet those deadlines whenever you're waiving. And then reviewing your student account is very important, even if your sponsor covers for all your fees on the account, just for having an ease of mind and understanding exactly what's happening on your end is very important. So we would recommend at the very least checking quarterly your Triton Pay. Every quarter at the beginning, we should release a billing statement, and the billing statement acts as a snapshot of all the activity on your student account at that point in time. And at the beginning of the quarter, that should include your quarterly tuition and registration fees alongside any other that you may have. The billing statement is static though, so it isn't updated. You receive billing statements once at the beginning of every month, so long as there's activity on the account. So if you want up-to-date information, checking Triton Pay, the account overview, or below the overview is activity details, would be your best bet. Miscellaneous fees, such as printing fees, if you utilize a printing services, the library, bookstore charges, Sunshine Market, it's a market located in Price Center on campus. If you charge things to your student account rather than paying out of pocket, that fee would show on your student account. And these types of miscellaneous fees are due monthly. So they would show on a billing statement. But if you didn't see on the prior one, it's just because it was posted to the account after that billing statement was already released. And again, billing statements are static. So if you want the most up-to-date information, it's good just to reference Triton Pay as a whole. I would say monthly if you're concerned about that. Otherwise, beginning of the quarter is usually fine. And again, if any fees are not covered by your sponsor, you just want to make sure that you cover those out of pocket by the billing due date. The billing due date every month is listed on that month's billing statement. And so if you pay by the billing due date, then you'll be fine. Otherwise, you do run the risk of having potentially financial hold placed on your account for past due balances. A common one is a BURF or a birth hold. If you have more questions in regards to that, if you ever find yourself in that situation, please contact Student Financial Solutions. And then paying online for all the fees that your sponsor doesn't cover, we offer e-check and credit card as options to pay online. For e-check payments, there's a 50-cent service fee, and you'll need a US bank account in order to pay using e-check. You could also pay using credit card. There's a 2.75% service fee when you're paying credit card. So my recommendation would be to not make large payments using credit card if you don't want that 2.75% service fee attached to it. Of course, Visa, MasterCard, Discover cards are accepted credit card options. Payments with e-check or credit card are posted to your student account instantaneously. Whenever you're paying by e-check, you just want to make sure that all the information that you're providing is accurate, whether you're paying with a checking or a savings account. There has been issues where students, if they input the information incorrectly, the payment would eventually be returned. So the payment does post to the account instantaneously, but there is a 2-week period where the payment could potentially be returned due to either invalid account information entered when you're trying to make the payment attempt, or if there's insufficient account funds. So just make sure that you have both of those taken care of prior to making an e-check payment if you wish to do so, and you'll be all set. And if you would rather pay in person, the cashier's office, which is located on the first floor of the Student Services Center, you're able to pay with cash or check in person. Enrolling in direct deposit, if you ever anticipate receiving a refund back for any overpayments made to your account, regardless if it's financial aid or an overpayment on your end from an e-check, credit card payment, etc. In those cases, you would need to submit a refund request to our office, Student Financial Solutions. You can do so through the Services and Support website. But whenever you submit a refund, you would either receive it through direct deposit or through a check in the mail. If you receive it through the check in the mail, it usually takes about 7 to 10 business days to the mailing address indicated on file. Um, direct deposit is a lot faster. It's usually 3 to 5 business days to receive your refund. Additionally, you don't have the concerns of a check becoming stale if you don't cash it in within 180 days, or if you had recently moved and you forgot to update your mailing address on file through Triton Link. Um, you don't have to worry about the direct deposit refund being sent to the incorrect place so long as your direct deposit account is the same. Check, it might be different if you recently moved and forgot to update your mailing address on file. So we would just recommend, in general, if you anticipate receiving a refund at any point in time, even if you don't, just to be on the safe end, you can enroll in direct deposit so that any refunds sent to you go directly to the account enrolled. And then again, quarterly reminders. So you want to make sure that there's no holds on your student account. Like I was saying before, a BURF or a BURF hold could be due to past due charges on the account. There's other types of holds that you might see on your account due to various reasons. If you see any registration or financial holds, any other types of holds, you'll need to figure out who they come from and then to contact that office directly for more information, just to make sure that you're taken care of, because some of these holds can impact enrollment, adding and dropping classes, and we don't want that impacting you in the long run. Taken care of as soon as possible, if anything. Tuition and fees. So you just want to confirm that the tuition fees have been assessed for the new term. So at the beginning of every quarter, so long as you're enrolled for that term, you should see your tuition registration fees for that quarter on your student account. Even if you're sponsored and your sponsor will pay for all your fees, you still will receive a billing statement for that quarter, as well as you should see those fees open on the account prior to us posting the contract to your student account. So don't be alarmed when you see the charges. If anything, if you're an enrolled student and you don't see any charges on your account, I would say that would be more of a concern. Sponsor credit, confirm that the third-party contractor sponsor tuition credit as posted for the new term and is paying the appropriate fees. So just make sure that whenever you open your account, once you see the contract, it should pay the exact amount for individual line items on the Triton Pay or the billing statement, and each payment should go in line with a specific charge on the account that the sponsor agreed to cover. If it isn't for some reason and it doesn't look correct, please contact Student Financial Solutions. We can take care of that. And then UC SHIP waiver, again, confirm that the health insurance waiver is reflected for the new term. We have to, Student Health Services post that waiver to your student account every term that you're enrolled for that given academic year that you applied for the waiver and you were approved of it. So if you applied for the health fee waiver and you were approved of it, you should see it every quarter on the account posted. Because again, you'll see that charge at the beginning of every quarter on the account. Don't be alarmed if you see the charge, but if you see the charge and you don't see the waiver on the account, then your best bet, contact Student Health Services. After contacting them, feel free to also contact Student Financial Solutions. Lastly, confirm your student account balance is $0 and any remaining balance is paid. You want to make sure that all that is taken care of. If there's any fees that your sponsor does not cover, that you're able to cover those out of pocket by the billing due date. If you have any questions, again, about the payment methods covered, as well as when to make payments, the billing due dates, etc., feel free to contact Student Financial Solutions.
Okay, sorry, I was going to answer a question. In the QA, Casper, if you wanted to go ahead and just answer the question there. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. All right. So for some just quick, again, recap on keys to some success. Biggest thing is just to make sure your financial guarantee is turned in every year. So again, if you are covered by your sponsor for 2 years, just make sure you're turning that in every year, just so we have it. And then make sure that your DocuSign for the billing authorization is signed every year. And then every quarter, just make sure your third-party contract is credited to your account. Again, please be patient with us. Every year, fall quarter is very impacted, and we're trying to get everything on there, but we will, of course, get that on before the billing due date. But as long as you have the first one in, the financial guarantee and the DocuSign billing authorization, we will get to you. And then again, waive your USHIP waiver, get it in if you don't have to pay for your health insurance. The third one is just monitor your student account. Just be aware of any billing due dates and any holds that may impact your sponsorship credit. And then ask any questions and stay informed. We're here to help. Feel free to call Student Financial Solutions if you have any questions, or go ahead and open a ticket if you need any help. And to get a hold of us, feel free to send us a ticket or a message at undergradthirdparty@ucsd.edu. That'll give us a direct ticket to third-party billing office. If not, go ahead and hop on our website. You can go ahead and open a ticket that way. You can also give us a call through SFS. And then Felicia, if you want to.
Yeah, so we just wanted to also let students know there is a FERPA release that both our offices have in different places. So UC San Diego takes your privacy very seriously, and we will not release any of your information to your sponsoring organization unless we really need to, or if the student has given us written permission to do so. So by releasing FERPA, you are allowing our office to be able to speak with your sponsor. I know that there are cases when, there are challenges that you may come up against, and that when students have released FERPA, we're able to communicate with the sponsor and with you in order to try to remedy the situation as quickly as we possibly can. We hope that never happens, but if and when it does, we just wanted to let you be aware of this. So in ISPO's, in your iPortal account for students who did request a DS 2019 or an I-20 from ISPO, there was a question that is at the very, very top, and I apologize that it's incredibly small, about being able to waive FERPA. I apologize, it's at the very bottom. It's at the bottom, release of information that you were either agreeing or not, would like to not provide the release to your sponsor. And then I'll let Leah go over the one for SFS.
Yeah. So in the billing authorization that you will sign via DocuSign, in addition, yes, we also have that where, same with FERPA, we will not divulge any information to your sponsor unless stated by the student. So again, we do protect your information. We will not divulge any financial information unless written or legal information reason to do so, or the student has provided us permission to do so. And just, yeah, again, we're here to help you. This is Student Financial Solutions information. So to get a hold of our billing office for third-party billing, you can reach us by phone. We have a main tree. So if you call in to Student Financial Solutions, go ahead and call SFS and then just ask for third-party billing. And they will probably ask a few questions about like who's your sponsor, your PID and whatnot, but they will redirect you either to me or Casper, or they'll probably take, some information from you and open up a ticket. You can also, again, reach out via email or open a ticket through our website. But yeah, or you can walk on in and get some help.
All right. Thank you, Felicia, Gabi, Leah, and Casper for being here with us today. While we wrap up the last few slides, please feel free to use the Q&A feature to submit any questions from today's presentation. And you can also, if you think of questions later, you can always visit ISPO's website, istudents.ucsd.edu. And you can learn about different ways to contact ISPO if you go to icontact.ucsd.edu. All right, so we want to tell you, oh, sorry.
I was just sorry, Kathleen, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, were you going to do the?
Yeah, I'm happy to go over the next set of outro slides here, if that's okay with you.
Yep, sounds good.
So thanks, Kathleen. And thank you, everyone, all of our partners for being here today. Thank you all for participating in this webinar. As Kathleen mentioned, please, if you have those questions, go ahead and pop them in the Q&A, and we will be happy to answer those. If you have more specific questions, we can always answer them in advising as well. But I just wanted to take a moment to go over some of our orientation events that are coming up next week in particular that we want to make sure you are all aware of so that you can start to form those friendships, build those connections when you get to campus. So the first one here is our meetups. These are a great way to meet other international students at UC San Diego, maybe other fellow sponsored students. We're currently offering interest-based meetups. So whether you're interested in sports or in current events or crafting or whatever it might be, there are various different meetup groups that are hosted by students for students. So if you're interested, please go ahead and register. Head over to iorientationucsd.com/meetup. And then we have several orientation events coming up. Our first one here you'll see is our UC San Diego bus tour. It's incredibly popular. It has sold out. However, this was just yesterday that it sold out. If you are interested, you can add your name to a wait list. Please just let us know. We cannot guarantee that those spots will free up, but please, if you are interested, go ahead and do that. We also have our International Student Fan Fest that is coming up on the 22nd of September, next Friday. So this is a great way to kind of get to know our athletics kind of division a little bit better. This is a great way to also meet fellow international students. This is specifically for international students right before the women's volleyball game. So you can enjoy free pizza, play some games, win prizes at a raffle. Again, mingle with our international scholar athletes who are going to be playing as well, and learn about volleyball from the UCSD women's volleyball team and coaches. And then on Wednesday, September 27th, this is the day before classes officially begin, we will have our international mixer. That's at 7 p.m. in the Great Hall. Another great way, free food, lots of friends, different people that you get to mix and mingle with on campus in a kind of, just a very kind of chilled out setting before you start your classes the next day. Also happening all of next week, every day between the 18th of September and the 22nd is our global coffee hours. So these are happening at the International Students and Programs Office in our beautiful Eucalyptus Grove. They're happening daily from 10:30 to 11:30. So these are a great way to just grab a cup of coffee or tea, a morning pastry, and again, meet your fellow international students and staff and participate in various different activities that we have going on. We also have lunch and learns that are happening next week. So these are happening at noontime, also at ISPO. Lunch and learns. So these feature different topics every day, from intercultural communication to social justice 101 and so forth. And lunch is provided. So head on over to ievents.ucsd.edu where you can register for these. In addition, we also have our socials. So on Monday, September 18th, we are going to be having our social for international graduate students. And on Wednesday, September 18th, September 20th, we are going to have our international peer coach open house for our undergraduate students. If any of you were involved in the international peer coaching program or are interested in it. Then on Wednesday, September 27th, in the afternoon, we're going to be having our Gap Mixer for those of you who participated in the Global Ambassador Program. All right. And so now I just want to kind of go over our iEvents calendar. If you want to know what's happening at UC San Diego all year long, our iEvents calendar, this is a live calendar that features globally engaged events hosted by student orgs and campus departments throughout the year. So if you bookmark this page, you will always be linked to what is going on currently in terms of global engagement and community activities throughout the year. And we have giveaways as well. Some of you might have already seen this on Instagram. So we have raffles available for Amazon gift cards and our popular ISPO swag. But to enter, first you need to follow us on Instagram. So Kathleen went over that at the beginning. If you want to join our Instagram, go ahead and join, like the post, and then finally take a picture at iOrientation. Either share it as an Instagram post or as an Instagram story. Just make sure to tag at ispo.ucsd so that we can reshare all of the images and all the fun that you're having. Again, this could be a picture attending one of our workshops, our social events, and so forth. And this will enter you into that raffle, into that giveaway. Best of luck. And some final reminders here. Please take a moment to scan the QR code that you see here on your screen. This is going to take you to a survey for this session. We really value your feedback so we can continually improve these sessions and better serve you. So please take a moment to do that. While you're filling this out, just a few final reminders. Once you arrive in the US, if you are not here quite yet, make sure that you do this. If you are here, please do this as soon as possible. Once you're here and you're beginning your studies, you need to submit, if your documents are issued by ISPO, you need to submit the check-in for I-20/DS 2019 activation form in the iPortal. So messages are going out about this in our newsletter. You can find the form on our website. Just go to check-in, search check-in, and you will learn how to submit that form. This does not apply to students whose documents were not issued by ISPO. So if you have Fulbright sponsorship, if you are part of the SDSU joint doctoral program and they issued your visa documents, you don't have to do this check-in process with us, okay? So it's just for those who were issued documents from UC San Diego. And then lastly, please continue to register for other orientation sessions by visiting iorientationucsd.com. And then, of course, please feel free to contact us and follow us on social media. You can do that via icontact.ucsd.edu. And that's it. So we'll go ahead and keep this open for any questions that we might have.
And I'll just go ahead and chime in again and thank you all for attending today's session. Whether you're joining us from inside of the US or from the other side of the world, on behalf of International Students and Programs Office here at UC San Diego, please enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, or morning. We want you to have a great fall quarter, and we'll see you all at our next session.